Alright, welcome back. Today I want to talk about end behavior, specifically taking a polynomial and finding out its end behavior by using the two things that are necessary, the two things that determine end behavior, the degree and the leading coefficient. Now to recap, the degree is the largest exponent on the polynomial, and the leading coefficient is the number in front of that variable that has that degree. So we're only looking at that one term, that largest term, the largest degreed term, largest exponent term is what decides the overall shape of the graph, where the ends go. What happens in the middle has more to do with the whole function overall, but we're just specifically talking about end behavior. So enough talking, let's jump into some examples. So the first thing is that with the degree, we need to decide if the degree is even or odd. So we take a look at our polynomial here, 5x squared minus 3x plus 2, and we look for the degree, and that's the largest exponent, which is going to be this 2. And now 2 is an even number, so our degree is even, which means we're only going to look at the end behavior of that even row. For our end behavior of a polynomial, there's only 4 options. Either they're both up, they're both down, or one up is and the other is down, and then those get switched around. So in the case of an even degree, both ends point the same way. And now we look at the leading coefficient. The leading coefficient is that number in front of that variable. So here's the variable with the degree. The number in front of that is the leading coefficient. And now we need to decide if this number, that 5, is positive or negative. In this case, that 5 is positive, so we should have our answer in the positive. Ooh, I did a bad job of circling that. So our answer should be in the positive leading coefficient column. Now, if you can see, the thing that I've circled twice, both when I circled the even degree row and the positive leading coefficient column, is our answer. So our end behavior answer for this question is that both ends are going to be pointing upward like that. So this image right here, I circled it with the degree and then circled it with the leading coefficient, so that is my answer for the end behavior. I've got 3 more examples to do. Let's get to the next one. This problem's 3x minus 8x cubed minus 2x squared plus 4. Now, like I said before, the first thing we got to do is find the degree. That's the largest exponent, which in this case is this 3. And 3 is an odd number. So we're going to go ahead and circle the odd row. And then now going on to finding the leading coefficient. And the leading coefficient is always the number in front of the variable with the degree. So here's the variable that is x to the third. That leading coefficient's right in front of it. And we need to make sure that we take that sign, especially when that leading coefficient's tucked inside of the polynomial. So here, the number in front's a negative 8. So negative 8 is negative. It's 3x minus 8, or 3x plus a negative 8. And so we've got a negative leading coefficient with an odd degree. And same as before, the thing that I've circled twice, the end behavior choice that I've circled twice, is my answer. So my answer this time is this set of arrows, the odd degree with the negative leading coefficient. And so our end behavior should look something like this, where that left side's pointing up and the right side's pointing down. Moving on to the next question. Negative 7x plus 2x cubed minus 4x to the 6th. Same thing we've been doing. First, you got to find that degree, the largest exponent, which is this 6. That is the largest exponent. That 6 is an even number. So now we're looking at the even degree row. And then, of course, the leading coefficient is always the number directly in front of that variable with that sign, which that number is a -4, and so we're circling that negative column. And the thing that gets circled twice, that's in the thing that we circled for the degree, and that's in the circle for the leading coefficient, is our choice, our answer for the end behavior. And so that is our end behavior this time, where we have both arrows pointing downwards. Last question, moving on, is the leading coefficient, the end behavior of 3x cubed minus 7x squared minus 9x. First things first, the degree being even or odd, we gotta find the degree. The degree is the largest exponent, which is this 3. That's the largest exponent, and 3 is definitely an odd number. It's not divisible by 2. So I'm looking at the odd degree row now. Those are the only places I'm going to be able to find my answer. And of course, I got to find the leading coefficient. And the leading coefficient is always the number in front of that variable, which is this 3. And 3 is positive this time. So I'm circling the positive leading coefficient column. And the thing that I circled twice, of course, is my answer down there that I just put a diamond around, where the left arrow is pointing down and the right arrow is pointing up. And so that's the end behavior for that question. If you're really struggling with this, you could always try and use your technology that you've got at your fingertips to help solve this. So if you're asked to find the end behavior, you can always throw the function in Desmos or any other graphing calculator and see which way the arms are pointing. Make sure to zoom out pretty far though, so that you see those arms and you're not mistaken by the graph just going off the page. So make sure you're zoomed out enough so that you can see the whole function. But there you have it. That is end behavior in a nutshell and how to find it. Thanks. See you around.